Hello again, my viewers. This is Doc Ian with another book review for you. This one is sort of a follow-up to the previous one I did about a book from Andrea. This one is also from Andrea Press, as you can tell from down the corner here. But it's called Painting Gold Medal Fantasy Figures. So, what can we tell from the title? Well, it specializes in fantasy, apparently. They have the logo for their fantasy range of miniatures here, the Warlord Saga. It says gold medal, which implies that the techniques in this book are more advanced and will let you paint award-winning miniatures. It's by Julio Cabos and Diego Esteban, and it sort of follows the layout of the previous book in that it's mostly about larger minis. They go through the techniques in a slightly different way. They don't divide up brush and airbrush. They cover it all on the same pages. So if we do another page count, we can see that there's, again, 6 pages of various materials and preparation you need to do. A total of 24 pages of painting techniques, where, as I mentioned, they mix brush and airbrush. 6 pages about terrain for more, scenic basis. And finally, a tutorial for the miniature on the cover, which in this instance is only 6 pages long. And finally, we have something very odd. We have this, the Warlord Saga Gallery. This is a whopping 16 pages of advertisement for these miniatures. They've got big pictures of these minis, and they have little bios of the characters. And I have to wonder, what possible use is this? I mean, it's not like there's any game attached to these minis where you would be interested in this fluff. And the odd thing, or perhaps not so odd, is if you look at the language, the English in these 16 pages is a lot worse than the English translation for the main book. It's like it was done by a different person. It's almost like it was done by Google Translate. It's not quite that bad, but pretty close. It's pretty bad. And I don't know, they don't add anything. This book is, if you ignore these 16 pages, we have 47 pages in total. A few pages more than the last book I looked at. It doesn't cost much more. It costs 15 euros as opposed to the 13 for the 42-page book. But, I would not count these last 16 pages as worth anything. Oh well. Moving along. What is in here? Well, it does contain some more advanced techniques. It says here, a complete guide for basic to advanced painters. Nah, it's not for basic painters, because they don't cover the simpler things that were in the previous book. They go right into things like light sourcing, freehanding, tattoos, painting gems, and non-metallic metal. They do have a little bit about eyes and fabrics and so forth, but the reason you should have a basic understanding of painting before you get this book. So, is it any good? Well, if you can ignore the very strange marketing thing at the end here, it does contain some interesting techniques, descriptions of the techniques, and as I said, it's not very expensive. So it's, well, here for example, you can see how they choose to show the same technique with different, the same effect with different techniques. First there's an NMM effect with an airbrush, and then with just a paintbrush. So you're not left out in the cold if you don't have an airbrush. That's nice of them. So, if you know what you're getting into, if you're interested in some of the things I've showed you here, then 15 euros is not a whole lot of money. So, I leave it up to you. That's all for today. I will see you in the next video. But until then, Dakian is signing off.